Hello, this is Kurt Schweiger Jr. for C.D.S.P. Ghost Chaser, and I'm going back in the past to check back on my old home where I was born, and I was a little ghost chaser. Now this is where I was living for years. My parents bought this home back in the late 1960s, and I just came back to check it out to see what's left of it. I know a lot of it has went into the river, so let's go check. It's a lot of emotional stuff I want to get off. Check this stuff out here, guys. But this is the old, used to be the old home, but a lot of it has went down into the river. I can see this used to be the old garage where my dad used to park his car. This is the old fireplace of my old home. That part of it is left. The old fireplace. Most of it went down into the river by the looks. Which, I don't know, guys. It's quite emotional. They bought this in the late 60s. There's the old cellar down in there. Down in there used to be a freezer. We used to have a freezer back in the 60s. There's the river. I'm just going through here to see if there's any more left of this old home. It was sold back in 1970 or 1971 when we moved up on East Talmadge Hill Road. Cannot believe that everything is almost down in the almost everything is in the river. But this was the old Schweiger house down in here. That is buried. The old foundation is totally buried. There's the fireplace to the house. The old fireplace to my old house, guys, where I was born, raised, and grew up. Old path. Everything is down in the river. I mean, there's what's left of the old home and garage. Cannot believe it, guys. I mean, I know it's been a long time, a lot of years. And we moved out in 1970, 71, something like that. I just had to come back down in here to revisit this. Cannot believe how things have deteriorated. There's hardly anything that even looks like a home. It's just piles of wood. Cannot believe it. This is how quick a home can disappear. This was my home in the 60s until we sold it. And moved up on East Talmadge Hill. I'm just kind of looking for old toys, anything I can find from years ago. But I don't see anything. There's not much here. Just piles of rotted wood. Amazing, guys. Amazing. I think there's somewhat of a foundation over this way. Some of the foundation right there, right here, and right there. As you can see, it goes off the bank.
Morning.
Good morning. I used to I'm filming a. I'm filming a paranormal show, and I used to live here in 1969 in this house right here.
Really?
Are you Mr. Simons?
No. My name's Pauline.
Is it all right if I film you a little bit? Do you know anything about the old house going into the river?
I don't.
I used to live here back in 1969 at Kurt Schweiger, and
Oh, your name is Swigert?
yep.
All right. I've known Swigers over the years.
Well, most of my family's gone now. My
Yeah,
grandparents.
That's what I know.
Do you know anything about the river? I came back to visit it because it was my old home, and now half of it's in the river. And I live down in Whaley, New York, and I've been doing a paranormal show called C.D.S.P. Ghost Chaser.
Yeah.
So I wanted to come back through and kind of look at the old homestead where I came from.
Was this part of the dwelling?
Yep, this was part of it. There used to be a garage over there.
Huh.
The home was here. There was a little yard.
So the river took it all over,
Took it all. Yeah. And they bought it in 1969 or late 60s. And I grew up, and then we sold it in 70 something. 72.
Before 72?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I was, originally from Ulster to Chiquin, and then we went through the flood naturally. Well, my mother did. And I ended up with a house eventually, but and we moved to, up by the, where the gun club is up there.
Yep.
We lived across the street from the gun club.
Yep.
Well, my wife's got Lyme disease, so she couldn't get out like she used to. So we live in Barton now, right over.
Well, my grandparents used to live down in Barton, when you used to have the old post office and all that down in there. Wilbur and Helen Schweiger.
Yeah.
Did you know them?
Didn't know him, but I heard about it.
Yeah, they both were good. They're all gone now, but so I just wanted to come back, revisit this. Now my grandmother, when we were little, she used to take us down this road down here. And she used to walk us when we were little all the way down to the right-hand side. There used to be a gravel pit.
Yeah, I just came from up down in there.
And when I was 7.
Well, they made cement. What do you call it? 1,000-gallon tanks, and everything to go with it. And I used to buy them from them. Yeah.
Well, when she used to walk me down there, one time I was going down there, and I was little. I went by myself on this time. I went down in there, and there was a big pile. Probably, to me, it looked 30, 40 feet high, And then when I went down in there, I ended up, a big light come up over the gravel pile. And I just was out. I went out. That's all I remember.
Huh.
And
How old were you?
I was probably 8, something like that. I came back right in here where the home was. My grandmother said, "Where are you? Where have you been, Dolly?" I said, "I've been down in the gravel pit," and she said, "You missed 2 or 3 hours of time." It was 2 or 3 hours later. And then when my father worked down in Sayre, Pennsylvania, he was Ingersoll Rand. He came home 12:30, 1 o'clock at night. This was 69.
What were you doing?
And he came back down in there, and he saw a UFO go right into the river.
Oh, really?
Right down in there. Yeah, there's a newspaper clipping of it somewhere.
So you went out because of that, huh?
Yeah, there's a newspaper clipping of it somewhere. And the UFO went down into the river. They did a report on it, went to the newspaper, and that's where it went, down in that river right there. It went down with his shotgun, but it looked so much different back then. I mean, you had the house, a nice little white house here. Yeah. There's some of the foundation. Then you had a little garage right there. Where he parked his car.
Oh, I see. And part of the foundation still there?
Yeah, part of the foundation over there. Then he had there's a cellar that went down in where we had our...
down in the bank?
Yep, down the bank where we had a freezer down in there. Went down in fishing and, things like that. I came back, I just can't believe how things have deteriorated. There's nothing here.
Right.
And just parts of the foundation and...
That's it, right? Well, it doesn't take, have you heard that, like, if we're gone at all, within 100 years, it's going to be all trees unless the climate change takes stuff away, which is doing.
No,
right
I didn't hear that, but I just did I'm going to shut this off here in a few minutes, but I just want to say a couple things, and I forgot your name, but I wanted to, if it's all right if I introduce you.
Yeah.
Could you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Yeah, my name is Paul Lane. I live at 58 Oak Hill Road, right up here in Barton. Just talking about how the old homestead was here and how the river takes everything away eventually.
Thank you, Paul.
Yeah.
And this is Kurt Schweiger Jr. for C.D.S.P. Ghost Chaser. Later, guys.